Pleasure to welcome you here this evening to our annual school concert. This year the format of the concert has been changed and a more professional approach has been adopted. Many hours of practice have ensured an exceptionally high standard of presentation. I hope you will all enjoy the many items we have for you this evening. So, without further delay, I would like to introduce to you the second year choir, who will give us a selection of Christmas carols under the musical directorship of Sister Patricia and Miss Hickey. So, the second year choir.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Now we have a change of tempo, and Aideen Callagher from first year will perform The Resurrection of Kate Finucane by Brendan Kennelly. So Aideen Callagher now.
The Resurrection of Kate Finucane by Brendan Kennelly. Oh, she was a handsome corpse, he said. There was a difference between living and dead. You'd see in her a fine red face on a starchy pillow edged with lace, her cold hands clasped, her mousy hair as neatly tied as girls upstairs. Touching 40 she was when she passed away. But 20 she looked as she lay in her bed on the broad of her back, a sight for sore eyes. Her cousins had come from all parts of the kingdom, Coffreys and Blaines and Dingles, McCarthy's and Ryans, both married and single, honest and otherwise, for a day and a night as she lay in her bed, as fine a wake as I had ever been to in all my time. Well now, there was nothing much to do after the praying and the drinking, except lift herself into the coffin. 'Twas at that moment, glory be to God, as I stood with my glass at the head of the bed, that she stretched like a cat, and opened her eyes, and lifted her head in great surprise. And Mother of God, will I ever forget the cut and the go of her, the sight and the set of her, when calm as you like, with the top of her head, Kate Finucane sat up on the bed. Well now, there's no need to tell of all the confusion that fell on the cousins, the neighbours, myself in the house. Dead she'd been, and now this disastrous return to life, upsetting the whole place, and I thinking her body was lacking a soul. Well, after a while anyway, things quietened down, and Kate made pay for the cousins. She found she'd not seen him in ages. Besides, she clapped her eye on a Lenmore lad named Party, and 3 months later paraded him up the aisle. On top of that, she showed the world she could still make a dandy wife, for she's still to the good, without doubt or favour, fright or fear. Kate Finucane has a child a year. Gay woman Kate, Maloney said, see the difference between living and dead.
Right, next we have a selection of Irish dances performed by Ciara Cronin, Annette Dunn, Gillian Kelleher and Mary Kenny. prove to you that we're not serious all the time, I would like to introduce some comedy. We have a short modern-day version of Cinderella, which is entitled Red Hot Cinders. This is performed by Miss Kennedy's Speech and Drama Group. Thank you.
Kind friends, we now present before you, and we hope we shall not bore you, a patent-potted pantomime, Cinderella, all in rhyme. I'm the compere, or commentator, and as you'll discover later, I'm also prompter, hence my book. Excuse me while I take a look. Ah, yes. Now up the curtain goes, and right before your very nose, you'll see poor little Cinderella. I'm crying 'cause I got no fella. Well, never mind. Look not so glum, dear Cinderella. Here comes your mom. She's not my mom. She's my stepmother. We hate the sight of one another. The mother speaks. Now, what's all this? Get up and help your sister, miss. And now, here come the ugly sisters, a pair of most obnoxious blisters. What a figure! What a face! My name is Lily. Mine is Grace. Now, Cinders, do me up behind. Come here now, Cinders, and never mind about their buttons. Do my hair. So Cinders hurries here and there until they're ready to depart. And Mum and ugly sisters start to leave for good Prince Charming's palace, when Cinderella, feeling jealous, says, "Dear stepmother, can't I go?" But stepmama just answers, "No." And now they're gone. Poor Cinders cries and holds her apron to her eyes. But while she's wiping up her tears, her fairy godmother appears. "I wish that I could see the ball." The fairy answers, "So you shall." Of course, she should have said you shall, to rhyme with "I could see the ball." It's sometimes hard to make things rhyme, but then who cares in pantomime? I am your fairy godmama. Hooray! Hurrah! Hurrah! Hooray! I wave my magic wand. Hey presto! Rags are changed from evening dress too. Fetch me a pumpkin, rats, and mice. And Cinders gets them in a trice. I wave my magic wand once more, and up there rises from the floor a coach and horses, all complete with coachman. Cinders takes her seat. But wait, the fairy has not done. The ball goes on till 1:30. But don't stay after 12 o'clock, or else your shoes and lovely frock will change to rags. Now don't forget. So off they go, and I will bet you all think it rather strange. They drive right through the kitchen range. But I've seen stranger sights than these. So in Act 1, curtains please. No interval, you know, so we'll continue with the show. The scene will look the same as ever, but please imagine, if you're clever, that we are at Prince Charming's house, and hark, a dreamy waltz by Strauss. And hark, a dreamy waltz by Strauss. And hark, a dreamy waltz by Strauss. See the happy dancers chaffing, all except the prince are laughing. He is alone amidst the whirl. I'm gloomy 'cause I got no girl. Well, cheer up, prince, two beauties come. It's Grace and Lily with their mum. Your highness, really, daughter. Dances, this, my eldest daughter. snooker slump and smitten.
Sweet lady, just one dance I crave. Sticky, hotty, salty knees. With you, dear prince, I'll dance to dawn, but safely on the garden lawn. I wonder who that girl can be. We do not know, nor do we. Perhaps she's a queen disguised. She's overgrown with these undersides.
The clock is striking 12.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, pray, Cinderella, run away. But as she leaves, 1, 2, 5, 4 falls clattering on the ballroom floor. The prince runs forward, picks it up. He says,
I will not drink a cup of tea, nor eat my morning kipper, until I find who owns this slipper.
and now we leave this merry throng and draw the curtains, not for long, but just to indicate to you that's the conclusion of Act 2. Now, for the last act of our play, we're back at Cinder's house next day. What's this? Search all alone? Can it be hangovers they moan?
Oh, my poor head.
Oh, my poor
I
tongue.
wish I hadn't had that rum.
I wish I hadn't had that jelly. I've got an awful pain inside my...
Jelly! Byron Wordsworth Keats defend us. No words that rhyme with jelly send us. But here comes Mother with some news. That ought to chase away their blues.
The prince's coach on the parade is. Oh, tell the prince to go to.
Lady!
He's come to tie the slip, Kentucky. Why shouldn't one of you be lucky?
The trumpet sounds. The cannons roar. The prince is knocking at the door.
Make way and let the prince charming pass.
Then enter Prince with slipper glass.
All ladies who were at the dance can try this slipper.
What a chance for these two girls.
Now come on, Lily, take my shoe off. Don't be silly. Your shoe on and your shoe back.
Now, ladies, not so much of that. Toss up for first. You call Grace.
I say it is.
It is. Now, place your foot upon the herald's cushion and see if the slipper you can push on.
Alas, your heel is much too large. I'll grease it with a lump of mud.
Oh, no, you won't. It's plain that you are not the owner of this shoe.
Let Lily try. Oh, dear, your toe into the slipper will not go. I cut it off and never will.
No, no. I'm very sorry, Prince. At least, I'm glad to state you're saved from unpleasant fate. For neither Marjorie nor Knight will fit these James to be your wife.
Then let us go and try elsewhere. But stay. Who is it going to say? Oh, just an orphan working here. It wasn't at your ball, I fear.
The prince is not to be denied. He's tried for hours to find his bride. And speaking between me and you, I think he's getting hungry too. For he has vowed he will not eat until he and his lady meet.
It's fish! It's cow! What's it mean?
The prince and Cinders cannot speak, except to say to Sis and Mother,
We're happy because we got each other.
they are too happy, even to spy that fairy godmother is nigh. Come, fairy, father's time is pressing. Give the happy pair your blessing.
Oh, bless my children both, and may all your troubles fly away.
Our play is done. My job is ended. Now, the leaf said, the soonest mended. Music, let the curtains fall upon the wedding march by Mendelssohn.
From the land of Prince Charming and Cinderella now to entertain you with a duet by two fifth-year students, Rosalie and Fiona.
Looking from a window above, it's like a story of love. Can you hear me? Came back only yesterday, moving farther away. Want you near me? All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. Sometimes when I think I can live, when it's only a game, and I need you. Listen to the words that you say, it's getting harder to stay. When I see you, all I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. This is gonna take a long time, and I wonder what's mine. Can't take no more. Wondering if you'll understand. It's just the touch of your hand behind the closed door. All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. All I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. There you go, baby, here am I. Well, you left me here so I could sit and cry. Golly gee, what have you done to me? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Do you remember, baby, last September, how you held me tight each and every night? Oopsie, baby, how you drove me crazy. Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. There's no use in me crying. I've done everything and now I'm sick of trying. I've thrown away my nights, wasted all my days over you. Now you go your way and I'll go mine. Now and forever till the end of time, I find somebody new, and baby would say we're true, and you won't matter anymore. There's no use in me crying. I've done it till the end of time. I find somebody new, and baby would say we're true, and you won't matter anymore. No, I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
Next, we have a short sketch from the musical Lilac Time, performed by two first-year students, Lisa O'Callaghan and Yvonne Galvin.
How can anybody read that? Here you, am I right for number 7? Well, if you aren't,
I think we've both come to the wrong house. I'm the caretaker.
I knew you was a caretaker.
Because I told you.
No, I knew it by your manner. Caretakers are always good.
Are you the Lord Chamberlain?
Now be very careful what you say. There are 3 young girls in this house.
Now let's see. There's me and Mrs. Weather. Who's the other one?
These 3 young girls have come in search of 2 young men. Now what do you say to that?
I say it's a sin and a shame.
I knew you would agree with me.
Yes. Why didn't they get another young man?
Now be very careful what you say, or you might have to repeat that in court.
Oh, another policeman. Now, why didn't you say you're a detective? That's the second one I've had around here.
A detective? Good idea. Now, madame, tell me all, and you should be exonerated.
Oh, please, Inspector. Not that.
Tell me all.
Anything, Superintendent.
Well, the fact is, I do not belong to the police. My name is Viette, and I am court glassmaker and father of the 3 young girls.
How dare you say you're a detective?
I didn't. You did.
Well, you let me maybe call you Inspector.
And Superintendent.
Silly old fool. I don't know anything about your 3 young daughters. I'm sorry for them if they're anything like you. No wonder they can only get 2 men among the 3 of them. You take that head of yours and boil it for a turnip.
Lula McCarthy will now sing a song from Peace, which I'm sure you will all enjoy. Lula McCarthy. Just like a flower when winter begins, just like a candle blown out in the wind, just like a bird that can no longer fly, I'm feeling that way sometimes. But then as I'm falling way down by the road, I picture a light at the end of the road, and closing my eyes I can see through the dark the dream that is in my heart. A little loving, a little giving, to build a dream for the world we live in. A little patience and understanding for our tomorrows, a little peace. We are feathers on the breeze. Sing with me my song of peace. Dance with the Difference. Joanne O'Riordan, Lisa O'Riordan, Georgina Healy, Catherine Toomey and Miriam Murphy will perform a disco gym dance. They are all members of Macroom Gym Club. hope you're all enjoying the concert so far. Now we continue with the first year ballad group who will give us a selection of songs and musical items. Comedy again this time with Miss Cremen's drama group, where we will be treated to the ever popular fashion show showing the very latest in swimwear and evening wear. So I'd like you to give a big round of applause now to Miss Cremen's drama group.
Gentlemen, my name is Constant Payne and I'm a fashion consultant with Nora Cronin's boutique in Cork City. I've been invited here this evening to introduce the Convent of Mercy Fashion Awards of 1989. This spectacular fashion show is being brought to you by the combined efforts of pupils and staff. In particular, we would like to thank Mrs. Walsh and Miss Hawley, who were the directors of the fashion show. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a wide range of clothes here for you tonight, from designer outfits to real bargains. which proves that with a little imagination you can look good on a small budget. I would in particular, ladies and gentlemen, draw your attention to the accessories of these outfits. As we say, as Nora Cronin's the ultimate in fashion sense. The accessories make the outfit. I'm sure you'll agree with me on this. Let me remind you, for the next best sections on tonight's show, the prize being donated by Mr. and Mr. McDonald, no less, the local farmer, the prize being his prize pig. Last but not least, let me introduce the adjudicators of the competition. 3 very well-known personalities. Yes, they can be seen on your television screen every Sunday night. Do they need an introduction? And Mary Denise.
With me now, Constant. I was thinking, don't you think it's about time that little Denise had a little baby brother or sister?
Thank you. Now we will get on with the fashion show. At the end of each section, ladies and gentlemen, a score shall be taken out of 10 altogether from our adjudicators. Then the section with the highest points will win the exquisite prize. Our first section is swimwear. We've 2 lovely ladies, Holly and Ivy. Holly is wearing the kind of outfit you could wear anywhere from Malibu to Onahincha. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the accessories that count here. It's safety first. Then we have Ivy, who's wearing a stunning number. Here, ladies and gentlemen, for all those interested in the fish, we have the print in the shorts. And this beautiful top, we'll say no more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's safety first. All the accessories can be got cheaply at Old Larry's Macroom. You're even safe in the shower with this get-up. Well, now could we have the score for that, please? 4 and 2, 7 and 3, 9. Thank you very much, thank you. And our next section is the evening wear. We have Prudence, Peggy, Hilda, and Gertrude. Remember, we're approaching the festive season. This evening, Prudence is wearing what every fashion-conscious young woman in the audience will insist on buying after the show. A beautiful ensemble. But the navy stockings are available from Old Larry's Macroom, while Far's supermarket will supply the elastic to keep them up. This beautiful lime green dress and matching jacket are available from Rainbow's Cattle Street Macroom. Notice the exquisite tailoring. Next we have Peggy. For that lady who's expecting that little bit more than the average box of roses for Christmas. This number is a beautiful, shimmering, silky evening dress, exactly suitable for the Neville Social Yearly event, which took place last Saturday night. And next we have Gertrude. This model has borrowed this dress from her sister, who got married last June, 24 years. We all know that the wheel of fashion is mercilessly in motion and has come around again to the modest Victorian neckline and the elaborate cuffs, letting everything to the imagination. Not suitable for Biddy, I'd be thinking. And last, we have Hilda's outfit. which got its inspiration from Sister Joseph in the garden. This is perfect for any of those Jolly Daily fans. Thank you, girls, thank you. Could we have the score for that section, please? We have nothing and 4. 4 and 5 is 9. 9, ladies and gentlemen, for that section. And our next section is the nice wear. Here we have 2 lovely girls from the school, Penelope and Concepta. Concepta is wearing a very cheeky little number. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the colours make this outfit. Designed and tailored by Concepta herself. Laura Ashley and Cock were so impressed with it that they have decided to sell this in their Christmas range. They'll also be happy to supply you with the accessories, including the teddy bear. The colours come free if you buy Tycoon the teddy. And next we have Penelope, and she's wearing an exquisitely sophisticated nightwear for the hot nights when your feet are cold. Notice as well that red is a very fashionable colour at this time of the year. Be sure that you tie the hot water bottle well so that you're not thrown back into the swimwear section. Thank you, girls. And now could we have the score for this section, please? We have 3 and nothing, 4, 3 and 6, 9. 9, ladies and gentlemen, for that section. And now we have the school uniform, a very special item. I want to introduce this, Desdemona, wearing the ideal school uniform, worn, of course, by the ideal school girl. Sister Patricia has spent many long hours designing this particular outfit. I'd be thinking she has a direct phone line with Queen Victoria. If you want to wear any extras, you wear them inside the uniform. Queen Victoria and Sister Patricia are really proud of this little number. It's the tin panels that keep you on balance with Sister Patricia. And next we have Twink. No doubt the girls in the audience will be pleased to hear that the girls have designed their idea of the school uniform. This is what you call a material girl living in a material world. Not to mention the De La Salle boys who would prefer this type of girl. Thank you, Desdemona and Twink. And now could we have the score for that section, please? We have 3 and 2, 6 and 4, 9. Thank you very much, 9 for that section. And our last section is Mr. and Mrs. MacDonald. These are the people sponsoring the prize. Here we have Mrs. MacDonald with the greens and the browns, which coordinate lovely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we see who wears the pants in this marriage. The heat all escaped through the head
Well, I'm sure you will all agree we have some very fashion-conscious young ladies in the school after that. Now we have 4 students who will perform a dance routine with Rebecca Henley Willis on piano. Back to dancing this time with second and fifth year students doing a lively step dance. Music will be provided by Denise O'Sullivan on accordion. We are coming near the final part of the first part of the show, and I would like to remind you that after the next item we will have a short interval. Tickets will be sold 3 for 50 pence, 5 for £1, and we will give you Miss O'Neill's first year German class, who will sing Silent Night and O Little Town of Bethlehem in German, Irish and English. Thank you. modern rock version of the Nativity in 2 parts. So welcome to part 1.
Oh, good. What kind of thing? Well, mostly contemporary.
Our story begins on a cold winter's night nearly 2,000 years ago. Joseph, a carpenter from a small town called Nazareth, and his young wife Mary were travelling to Bethlehem to pay their taxes. The Roman Emperor, Caesar Augustus, had decreed that the whole world should be taxed and a census of the population carried out, and there were to be no exceptions. Of course, it was the worst possible time for Mary and Joseph to be travelling. Mary was pregnant. She was due to give birth at any time, but they had to go to register and pay their taxes just like everyone else. Mary knew that hers was to be no ordinary childbirth. She knew that her child would be born a son. She knew that he must be called Jesus, and she knew that he would become the greatest king the world had ever known. I know it's hard to believe. I can see you all shrugging your shoulders, shifting your feet, and looking at each other saying, oh yes, greatest king. You don't believe a word of it, do you? You don't believe it.
No!
I wouldn't believe it. Nobody would. How could the greatest king be born the son of a carpenter? But Mary believed it. She believed it because God, yes, God, had sent his chief angel Gabriel to speak with her before the child was even conceived. Mary was scared stiff, absolutely shaking with fear when he appeared. But the angel said, "Don't be afraid, Mary. Don't be afraid." The angel then told her that she would conceive and give birth to a son who would be called Jesus.
But Mary said, "This can't be, I'm a virgin." And the angel replied, "God has chosen you to be the mother of his son. You will believe this, Mary. You will believe this." Well, what else could she do but believe it? And by the time Joseph was summoned to Bethlehem, it had all started to come true. As they made their way across the rough and mountainous countryside, a new, brilliant star appeared. It shone above them and moved and guided their path through the darkness. Meanwhile, the tax collectors of Augustus were already busy at work, collecting from the thousands of men and women who were pouring into the city. They enrolled each person, collecting the coins, and filled the coffers up, and explained to reluctant taxpayers exactly why Caesar needed the money more than they did.
Go the vine, you pay the tax on the vine to make the wine, you pay the tax on the wine to make the bread, to buy the salt, to go the vine to make the wine to make the bread. To make the milk, you pay the tax on the milk to make the cheese, you pay the tax on the cheese to make the bread, well, go to make the milk, to make the cheese, to make the bread. Taxes, come on, pay taxes, come on, pay dues, social customs, now you choose. The fork out, share up, pay your dues, it's half a shekel that you have been hit. You've got to have money, you know. You've got to count every tiny coin and then watch the coffers grow. You pay the tax on the earth to grow the grain. You pay the tax on the grain to make the flour. You pay the tax on the flour to make the bread, to make the bread, to make the bread, to make the bread, to make the bread. Taxes, come on, pay taxes, come on, pay dues. Now you do. The fork out, shell up, pay your bid. It's half the shekel that you have been hit.
It was very late when Joseph and Mary finally arrived in Bethlehem. Most of the inns and houses were in darkness, as Joseph searched hurriedly for a warm room where the child could be born. He went to an inn, but it was full. He tried another. Again the innkeeper turned him away. The child was now very near, and Mary was in great pain. Joseph frantically ran from one inn to another, begging for a place to spend the night. But it seemed that there was not a single room to be found anywhere in the town. The long journey had exhausted Mary, and as yet another innkeeper shook his head. He crumbled and slumped to the ground.
To
thank you, God, for having brought us this far, and for generally looking after us like that, protecting us here and there on the road. Especially I thank you for sorting out that very sticky situation with those two sharks as innkeepers at Jericho. I thank you for all that. I really do. But how about now, God? How about this mess? Mary and I have both racked our brains. But then, you know the situation. God, I don't have to tell you. And we can't find an answer. So I think it's your turn now, God, because to be fair, you did get into this. I'm only Joseph, a humble carpenter. But God, you're God, a worker of miracles, a doer of great deeds. And you know I'm not asking for a great deal, God. Just a bed for the night, not for me, but for Mary and the babe. Thanks for listening. And just one last thing. God, are you still there? Please don't let Mary know I've had to ask you again for help. I would like to think that I had sorted this one out by myself and was still sort of in charge of things down here. Thank you again for listening. I just thought that I'd remind you of the situation. Oh, amen. We must go on. There must be somewhere.
But for how much longer, darling? I just can't go on like this. I feel awful.
Joseph and Mary knew they were going to have a long and tiresome night. The moon's up and the sun's down, and 1,000 starry eyes have caught me crying. You don't die of a broken heart, you just lie down and give up trying. And it's gonna be a long night, alright. It's such a long, hard fight, keeping the teardrops out of sight, waiting for morning light. It's gonna be a long night. It's all gone, but the memories come back to me in scattered pieces. Your eyes shine and your smile glows, and the lonely
wine's flowing pretty freely in Bethlehem tonight. I've never seen anything like it. Now, this bloke Augustus's tax and enrollment law is a bit of a nuisance, but it brings in the trade. Customers, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, David, where the hell have you been? Now get rid of that drunk and come and help serve. They're shouting for more drink in the back room.
We're not drunk, lady. My wife, she's pregnant.
Oh, I can see that now. Poor thing. Come, fetch her this way.
But where are you going to put them? We can't kick anyone out. Besides, they've all paid in advance.
We'll bring them through to the stable. It's warm and clean in there. Anyway, it's the only place left. I've got 5 myself, and I was stuck like this once. It's pretty frightening. Now, David, get some hot water and rags from the kitchen. Come on.
Sorry, we can't give you a room inside, lady. We really are full up.
Oh, come on, man. Hurry.
Soon after, a child was born, a boy, and called Jesus. He was wrapped in blankets and laid on a bed of straw in the manger. High above this stable, the brilliant star shone even more brightly in the dark night. Travellers from distant lands, who had followed its path across the sky, were now making their way towards the stable. They were coming to give praise to the new king. But for the moment, Mary, Joseph, and the baby slept peacefully. And the angels watched over them, whispering in the night, with voices as pure and as clear as the midnight frost that settled on the rooftop.
A holy name.
Yes.
Is he going to be a priest then?
When he grows up, he will become the priest of priests.
Well, I'll keep my ears open for him then. Sounds as if he's going to be a big man.
You say his name is Jesus? Yes. What is your name?
I'm called Gabriel, and I'm the leader of this gang, and that is Michael. Nice to meet you.
My name is Raphael, and this is my sister Serafina.
This is Uriel, and that is Ruth, and we all go round together and try and help out when we can. Anything we can do for you, mister?
That's very nice of you, but I don't think that there is.
Fetch some wood for fire?
We are quite warm enough.
I will fetch something to drink.
The innkeeper has already gone for some.
Bring some food from the kitchen?
No, thank you.
I've seen the shoes.
What? It is Stephen. That's very bright, I must say.
There is absolutely nothing you can do for us.
Yes, there is, mister. We can keep guard.
Keep guard?
Yes.
a lot of wild animals down these parts, mister.
It's very nice of you to stand guard. But I've told you already there is absolutely nothing.
It's very nice of you to stand guard. We shall be most grateful, won't we, Joseph?
Yes, very grateful.
Oh, that's all right, mister. We like being here. Right, men? Mark guard. Well, now, how about a song?
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
Oh, if you really want to, I don't suppose we could stop you anyway.
What shall we sing, then?
My dad taught me a pub song, but my mum says it's not very nice.
It ought to be kind of sacred.
Well, which song then? Whatever it is, it has got to be quiet. You will wake the baby with all the noise.
Oh, that's all right, mister. Sing a lullaby. Then the baby will be able to sleep peacefully.
Oh, all right, you can stay.
Thank you.
But be quiet.
Yes, sir. He's called Jesus.
Quiet.
It's a holy name.
I know, I know.
On a cold hillside, overlooking the town, poor shepherds sat guarding their sheep. They too had watched the brilliant star come to rest over Bethlehem. The shepherds sat close together, huddled around the fire, and talking softly. They wondered if the star was some kind of sign, perhaps even a sign from God. Suddenly, their questions were answered. A blinding light, which cast no shadow, flooded the entire hillside, and the terrified shepherds cried out and threw themselves to the ground. Then, from within the light came a voice. It was that angel Gabriel again. "Don't be afraid, shepherds," he said. "Don't be afraid. The one you have all been waiting for is born today in Bethlehem." The angel told the shepherds to leave their sheep and go to see the child. They would find him wrapped in blankets, lying in a manger underneath the brilliant star, the new star that they had been watching. Suddenly, there was not only Gabriel, but thousands of angels, and the night was filled with their singing. It rang on and on, like the pealing of hundreds of giant bells. At last, the voices faded away, and the darkness gradually returned to the hills, until only the shepherd's small fire gave any light. When they were certain they were alone, they turned to each other and began to speak in whispers.
Was it a dream? No, surely we couldn't all dream the same dream.
A vision?
Yes, a vision.
And we have all been told what to do.
So let's go
then. So they left their sheep and hurried down the hillside into the streets of the town. The star, hanging like a great lantern in the sky, led their steps to the stable door. Excuse us, sir, but we were told to come.
Come inside. The child you seek is here.
God bless you all, sir, madam.
We had a dream vision. We were just dozing off round the fire quite like. We've had a very busy day. Get on with it.
Yeah, get on with it.
Well, as I say, we've had a very busy day when this dream vision, call it what you will, it happened.
There were angels, thousands and thousands of angels.
Come closer and tell us all about it, everything that you saw.
We were sitting by the fire, trying to warm our hands and feet. Flames were getting up higher. We cooked a nice young lamb to eat. When like a miracle it was not night. There was someone standing in a brilliant light. And he said, don't be afraid, 'cause it won't hurt you. But listen very carefully and I'll tell you what to do. And he said, go to Bethlehem and watch that star. You must follow it, won't go far. Where it comes red, there you'll find the Savior of mankind under the star. Well, I was worried and confused. I'm just an ordinary man, thrilled and be amused. I clearly did not understand. When all at once, well, it dawned on me there was something special we just had to see. So I put on my cloak and I took up my crook and we came over here so we could take a look. And he said, go to Bethlehem and watch that star. You must follow it, won't go far. Where it comes red, there you'll find the Savior of mankind under the star. Under the star. Under the star. There must have been 100 angels.
More like 500.
No, there were at least 1,000, perhaps even more.
All those angels, and all that singing for this tiny baby. He must surely be the Saviour that he's told us of. He's called Jesus, is he?
Why did you call him Jesus, lady?
I too had a vision and was directed by God.
Ooh, how spooky!
Hey, listen, I feel quite about this nonsense if I were you. If it were trade, it's this nonsense got about. What nonsense? Oh, isn't he lovely? Well, this woman says that she was told to name him Jesus by, God! It's not impossible.
I tell you, it's absolutely true.
Well, all right, if you say so.
Actually, I'm not the father.
Well, I really must say I think it's very nice of you caring for her like that. And she's just had someone else's baby.
No, you don't understand. It's not like that at all.
Well, what is it like then? He's got to have a father.
Yes, of course. It's God.
Oh, yes. God again. I should have known. God! That's very good.
Do not mock us. It is the truth. This is the Christ child, the Messiah, the promised one that the old prophets spoke of.
Well, it all sounds mighty strange to me.
Then think how I feel. I have no control over any of this. I was chosen and then directed.
I have given birth to a beautiful baby who is destined to be a sacrifice for humanity. He will never stay at home, never marry and have children, and he will die a cruel death.
Mary, you have given birth to a strong and beautiful baby, which the whole world has waited for. It's a time to rejoice and give thanks to God.
I do thank God,
Yet my pregnancy has been a mixture of both grief and joy. My heart shares happiness with sadness. But you are right. I know only too well what will become of our child. Jesus, you will die, and I, your mother, can do nothing. Jesus, you will die, and though I try, I can do nothing. Please, please, oh God, protect your son. Please, please, oh God, be with your son. Stay with your son and guide him when he bleeds. Jesus, you will pray, and the people will watch you dying. Jesus, you will pray, and though you pray, they will watch you dying. Hear my prayer, dear God, let me share this love. Help me understand how this little one is Mary's child, but is God's own son. Jesus, you will rise, and I, your mother, will be crying. Jesus, you will rise, and I, with joy, I will be crying. Please, please, oh God, protect your son. Please, please, oh God, be with your son. Please, please, oh God, stay with your son and guide him, and guide him, and guide him when he bleeds.
Then your son really is the Messiah.
Yes, he is.
But you said that he would die as a sacrifice.
Yes, my son, the Saviour, is sacrificed.
I don't understand. Why should God let his own son die like that?
I don't understand either, but he will rise again. That's really my only consolation.
Do you really believe all this stuff then? Well, don't you? I don't know. I feel something sort of creeping into me. Maybe it's the cold. You could say I am beginning to believe it, even though it's against Mind you, it's pretty awful talking about him dying when he's just been born. If you don't mind me saying, that is.
Poor little baby.
Yes, poor little baby.
Still love, be glad you've got him and enjoy him while he's a baby. Sons, they're always the problem. They grow away from you over the years and become so independent. It's rows all the time. Now daughters, you can never get rid of daughters. If I were you, I'd forget all about this sacrifice business and just enjoy him while you can. After all, he's got all his limbs and he looks quite a bright little fellow. One of my friends, only round the corner from here, had a little girl a while back, and she was born blind, poor thing. So cheer up, love. God's seen you all right so far, hasn't he?
I suppose he has really.
Of course he has.
Is he absolutely, really, honestly, truly the Messianic Lord?
What? Who? Messi who?
Yes. Then why was he born in this dirty old stable?
It's because we've had to travel here to Bethlehem for the registration law. We have a quite nice place of our own back in Nazareth. It's not large, but it is very comfortable. I have a carpenter shop to the front, and we live behind and above it.
Oh, you're a carpenter then, are you?
Yes, I learned the trade from my father.
Do you make all sorts of things, mister?
Most things.
Toys?
Sometimes.
Toys! Lovely!
I bet there's a fair profit in making crackers for the governors, eh?
Some of those governors could do with profit themselves.
Be quiet, woman.
No, I don't touch that sort of thing. I make things mostly for the home and, of course, the synagogue.
Well, excuse me, lady, but I brought the baby king a little lamb, just like himself.
Here, I leave this
Thank you. Are you really sure you can afford all this? I mean to say, we don't really know you.
It's all right. I want to give him something.
We don't have very much to spare, but I'd like to give you these 2 loaves of bread.
And I would like to give you this skin of wine. Thank you. You needn't really. Your hospitality is more than enough.
I know. But I want to be like the shepherd. I feel as though I'm at the beginning of something. Well, marvelous. It's all somehow bigger than I thought. I'd like to give the baby Jesus a present as well. Can he have my lucky rabbit's foot?
That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
He can have my piece of string.
Thank you.
Here's my scarf. It's nice and warm.
Thank you. I'll put it round him. Look, he's smiling.
Here's my lucky cow's eyes. It was fresh this morning.
Thank you.
I'd like to give him my sword. There you are, Jesus. I know it's a bit big, but you can use it when you're older. I've nothing to give him. Nothing at all.
Of course you have. Come to give him a kiss.
Was that you, lady?
Of course it will. A kiss is one of the finest presents anyone can give.
There, Jesus. Now we've all given presents to the baby. Well then, if you'll all excuse me, I'd better go and look after the inn. I'll be back later though, if that's all right with you. Of course it is. Raphael! Raph, where are you? Come on, you'll be in trouble. Where have you been? We've been looking everywhere for you. This is my brother Dan, and that's my sister Soap. They're always shouting at me. We came here to help this lady. She's had a baby. He's a king and a messiah, and we've all given him presents. What are you going to give him then? Hey, steady on, steady on. We don't get very many kings and stables around these parts, do we, so? No, Messiah.
Now listen to me, you two. I'll have no joking and no rude laughter at this poor child's expense. What young Raphael says is perfectly true. For once, the child is a king, so show a bit of respect when you're told to, or you're out. Do you both understand?
Yes, but...
Understand?
Yes.
That's better.
Well, come on then. And you
don't have anything to give him.
There's nothing we can give.
There must be something.
Well, I suppose I could sing him a song, and I could too.
Well,